How's it going, people? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Match preview time. Before I give you something for the weekend, before we do the match reaction on Monday for the game Crystal Palace versus Leeds United. As you come in, please smash a like. If you're watching replay, smash a like also, and please subscribe to the channel. And big up everyone that got me over 5K over the last video. So I thought I was going to try and get to that target at the end of the season, but thankfully you guys got me there much earlier. So kudos to you guys and thank you for the continued support, of course. And also, somebody asked me about these lives. They said that they never catch me live. I don't know if everyone knows, but if you click the bell next to the subscribe button, that's when you'll know when I go live. So you'll always get YouTube should always send you a notification when I go live. So that's a good way of doing it. Yeah, man, listen, let's have a look. Let's go. Oh, yeah, we got to talk about Eddie Rems, Eddie. T85 afternoon, Dr. KG. Bit nervous after last night. No matter how much sugarcoating the fact Southampton were on the beach and would have probably been beaten by League Two side two. Yeah, listen, they were turgid yesterday. They were awful. They were awful. They just looked like they turned up just to be there. It wasn't there was no fight at all with Southampton, and you could see Burnley had an extra pep in their step, but I'm going to ask about that in a bit if people are worried about this and that because I'm just not there at this moment in time, and I'll give you my reasons why. Um, Mr. Rustin, you want Nketiah? Listen, Mr. Rustin, when he scored, you know what? We need to get into that later. We'll get into that later. We'll get into that later, Mr. Austin. And hello to Alison and Marty Adams in the building. Yeah, man. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Shout out to Vic Vinegar. Crystal Palace versus Leeds. It feels like we haven't played forever. It feels like we haven't played in a long, long time. But the good thing about the break that we've just had is that we left the break with a win. It wasn't a pretty win, but it was a win nonetheless. We ended with 10 points in 12 games, and that's what made the break not seem so long. I remember losing that Newcastle game at home, and that break that we had until the next game seemed like it took forever to get here. It was mad, but it's good that we got some football coming back, and a lot of the teams below us have caught up with their games in hand. I think there's a couple. I should have checked this before. Silly me. I should have checked this before, but they've. Let's have a look. Yeah, we've played 32. Burnley have now played 32, and Everton have got one more. But I mean, Everton. I mean, listen. So all the worrying about games in hand, there was no need to worry. I know Burnley, like T85 said, they comfortably beat Southampton yesterday. But again, it's going to take a massive, massive effort for them to overtake us. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you've only won as little games as they have all season, it is a big deal. Um, so yeah, I mean, we're on 33 points, 5 point gap. Yeah, and that's why I say I'm at this moment in time. You know what? Let me just ask people who are in here at the moment: are you comfortable where we are, or do you still think that we could be in a bit of danger? Uh, Let me just get some comments. Byron, Eddie and Ketty, I would be very cagey in getting him. Well done, nice pun. Um, T85 Wolves are fighting for Europe and will hopefully burst Burnley's bubble and crucially momentum. Yeah, again, the fixture lists are the fixture list is something that people I don't think are considering. Everton. I speak to my Everton friend, man, and they're convinced that they're going down. They can't see any more than 2 wins out of their next few games. Now we know football's not played on paper. I get it. But that also means that in the games that I think that we're not going to get nothing in, we may get something in too. It works both ways. It doesn't just work one way. And Everton, I don't know, man. I think it's a shootout between Burnley and Everton. But let me know what you guys are thinking. So let me go through. Vic Vinegar, definitely not comfortable. Damn. Okay. Shiri, we are going down. Lord have mercy. I think we are okay, says Ray. Woodsy, if Burnley get above Everton, I can't see Everton getting out. It's a mental thing, and that's something that the Everton fan I speak to is worried about as well. If they do see themselves in the bottom three, do those players that they currently have the mental fortitude to get out of it? It's a mental game at this stage of the season, and right now we're ticking along. We're ticking along. Allison saying and Marty Adams are saying I think 3 to 4 more points. That could be possible in the next game. We'll see. James is saying we are not safe. There is a strong chance we get 0 from 12 while others pick up points. Wow. Very different opinions. I love it though. I love it. I'll tell you because I was there with you. James, I was with you after we lost to Tottenham. I couldn't see the light anywhere. I couldn't see it at all. But I've seen the light now. It's not like we're playing free flowing, beautiful football, but it's all about getting the results. Yeah, Moondust, yeah, without goal difference, it's a 4-point gap. I feel you there. Yep, that's true. Let's have a look. Snoop Huggy White. Hello, Mr. Cage. You just hear Marsh praising Mr. Heatmap galore in the press conference. Most of these players will still be here next year. We'll get into that, Snoop Huggy. I'll touch on that in a bit. Ashton Dave, I think Everton are done. I know season tickets are convinced. Yeah, honestly, there's no hope for quite a few of them. And they got a nice last minute equaliser versus Leicester, but again, that's a game that you would have thought Everton could have won against Leicester at home. They didn't get the job done, and that's the thing that gives me hope. And the other thing that gives me hope, and I said it on the debrief earlier this week, is that we have players that have got the X factor to get us out of situations. Like that Watford game wasn't pretty. It wasn't a pretty game, but we won 3-0. Like the teams below us aren't really going to do that. Yes, we've got to take that Burnley Southampton aside. Southampton are on the beach now, people. But whereas Watford are missing open goals, hitting the post from inside the 6-yard box, Everton, I think Calvert-Lewin's back out again. I think he's out until sometime in May. Don't quote me on that. And then when you add in the fact we've got a rejuvenated Rodrigo, Jack Harrison's got 3 goals in 3. We've got a hungry Gelhardt and Greenwood combo that are very, eager to impress when they get on. Rafinha's revitalized. I just think going forward that we'll have too much. It's not going to be pretty. I'm fully aware of that, especially in our midfield area. Calvin Phillips, Jesse Marsh today has said is fully fit and healthy. We've just got so much that other teams below us don't have. And that's what gives me the confidence at this moment in time. So that's where I am right now. I can only speak of where I am right now. James saying, would be good to see Bate possibly get in the team now, but I doubt it. Well, listen, I'm just going to get my drum back out. Here we go. I got to beat the drum again because I put it away for a while because I was sick of saying it. There's only so many times I can say I would like to see Lewis Bate get more minutes. Well, this is a perfect opportunity now. I think going forward, the first choice will be Clickham Phillips to start with. But there's no reason why Lewis Bate can't get into this midfield right now. There's just no reason. Adam Forshaw, if people haven't heard, is going to be out for 6 weeks. Jesse Marsh says that he'll be good to go to Tranmere in the summer. Now, I'm only joking about the last bit, but he'll be good to go in the summer. But listen, for me, the Forshaw thing, for me, the only downside of the injury is just that it hurts the depth of the team. That's all it is for me. It doesn't hurt me. If I heard that say this version of Rodrigo or Rafinha was hurt for 6 weeks, then maybe I'd panic a bit. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's just Adam Forshaw just doesn't give me anything to get excited about. His heat map is always shown because he runs about a bit, but he doesn't do anything of note on the pitch. And I mean, if we're being honest, is he going to be here next season? If he is, it has to be a bench role. But again, we're going to get into all that near the end of the season. I don't want to get into all that now. But I know Jesse says he'll be good to go in the summer, but I don't know. But yeah, 6 weeks out for Forshaw. It just hurts our depth a bit, but hopefully it opens the door for Lewis Bate. That's where I am with that. Let's see here. There's nothing else really worth of note. Phillips is fully fit. They're raring to go after a long break, which is good to hear. But obviously, we need to see that with our eyes. Patrick Vieira, on the other hand, wants a bounce back. Oh, yeah, Eagle Eye football in the building. We need to bounce back. We've been poor since the FA Cup semi-final. And damn, I've read that one too early because that's where I wanted to get to. But Patrick Vieira wants a reaction after the Newcastle defeat. He knows that it wasn't good. And we spoke about it yesterday on the Prem panel show. Um, and it just seems when you're a team like Palace, and it would be us too, by the way, don't get me wrong. But when you're a team that's not used to getting to semi-finals and it's so close, the come down after a loss can be pretty big. We've seen it many times before. So we've got to take advantage of that on Monday, and I think we can do it. Now I'm going back and forth with the prediction. I've currently got 2-2 in my head, but it wouldn't surprise me if we go there and win with our rejuvenated squad. Them on a bit of a downer. Hopefully, it takes them another game to get over it. But you could see in the Newcastle game they weren't all at the races. None of them. And I've got to say, under Vieira, it's been beautiful to see. The football's been so much better. The personnel he's brought in has been so much better. You guys know I was not a fan of Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace at all. I hated that football. But Vieira's come in. He's brought in new troops from the start as well. He had to replenish that squad. He's done a brilliant job. He's done a brilliant job. FA Cup semi-final in his first season. Tyreek Mitchell's been brilliant. Gahey and Anderson look like they've been playing together for years. You know, the recruitment, Eze, Elise, beautiful ballers. Zaha is not so relied on anymore. They do need to upgrade in the striker department. I'm not gonna lie, Mateta and AU, I can, hit or miss with me, but on the whole, it's been good to see under under Vieira by Palace. 3-0 to Shiri's. Come on now. Vieira had a bit of a job. Vic Vinegar saying Vieira had a bit of a job on with an aging squad and a lot of players out of contract. Exactly. It was a huge job. It was a huge job. He had to go from Gary Cahill and McCarthy and all these just dead players, but he's rejuvenated and it looks a bit more in the mold of what Patrick Vieira would have liked. And you can imagine he's going to add to that in the summer. And I think they're going to try and get Conor Gallagher back. That would be a very smart move by them. I think they probably will do a deal with Chelsea, which is unfortunate. I would have liked him, but he's not coming here. But yeah, listen, just big up to Palace. It's good to see them playing good football, man. Because that football under Hodgson was not it. Russ saying a big concern of mine is Jesse Marsh playing so narrow. You can't let them Palace wingers have too much space. Yeah, listen, the wing is going to be a problem just purely on the fact of our fullbacks. Again, try not to be horrible, but we do not have Premier League fullbacks. We just don't. So you're going to have to hope that Phillips and Click can go over and help out the fullbacks. It's got to be a necessity because 1v1, but if Zaha 1v1 versus where does Zaha play? He plays on the left. He will be against Ailing. It's going to be a tough day. It's going to be a tough day. So they're going to need to double up on those areas and also look out for that late run from Conor Gallagher. So there's a bit to do in the game, but we have to see what kind of mood Crystal Palace are in. Now, admittedly, they've been good on Monday nights. I don't know what it is, the Monday night crowd. They got a wicked crowd, by the way. Love the crowd. But there's something about Monday night games where Palace just get up for. But we've got to hope, and this is where my hope is, that they are still on an FA Cup semi-final hangover. And that's where I am with that. I'm going to say 2-2. I'm going to say 2-2, yeah. Give me your score predictions in the chat and I'll flag them up. Shiri here, so I'll put it back up, man. But he says 3-0, or he or she, 3-0 to Crystal Palace. James said Furpo back in training. I mean, yeah, she. Snoop Huggy White saying Conor Gallagher will have an extra side to his game on Monday, just to remind us how we failed to get him. Phillips needs to put a shift in. Yeah, well, listen, when we met earlier in the season, I thought that too, and Phillips gave him a nice little tough tackle, if you remember that one. That was good to see. We need another one from those. Phillips is a game changer. I'm sorry. Down below, the teams below us, no one has a Calvin Phillips in their team. They just don't. So we have to use all our good resources that we've got and go forward and stay in the division, which I'm confident we will. Vic saying, I think a draw and I take a draw. Fair dues. Allison Marty Adams 1-1. Moondust 1-0 Palace. Neefos 9-0 Leeds. I love that, man. I love that. I love it. Ray saying Palace 2, Leeds 2. Yep, I got 2-2 as well. Mark, saying Gallagher wasn't good against us in the home game. He wasn't good. He wasn't good, but he's been good overall this season. Can't dispute that. Kieran saying a point wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah, listen, at this point, every point is valuable because you know why? The games are running out. Like we're almost done. The season's almost done. So for me, as long as we don't lose, I think it will be fine. But you know what? Even if we do lose, I still think we've got a bit of rope with the running that those two teams below us have got. They're tough run-ins. So, I mean, we'll talk this weekend. Burnley have got Wolves. I think they've got Wolves. Let me just quickly check that. Yeah. Burnley have got Wolves. Wolves are a tough nut to crack. A very good team. They're looking to consolidate Europa League, so that it's not like they're not playing for anything. So you got Wolves for Burnley. Everton are going to get cooked by Liverpool. There's no two ways about it. I predicted something like a 5-0 win for Liverpool. Everton have got nothing for Liverpool at the most normal of circumstances, let alone the season that they're having. So I don't think we need to worry about this weekend, he says now. But then it's up to us on Monday. All right, James saying she is a troll. He's in every lead stream saying we're going down and losing. All right, man. Thank you for the info. Russ is saying hopefully the rest has done us good 2-1. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. And just in terms of the team, I would love to see Dan James go to the bench, and it's nothing to do with his performances. It's just that there's not really a space for him right now. You can't drop Rafinha. You can't drop Jack Harrison, who's got 3 goals in 3 consecutive games. Can't take out that kind of form. So use Dan James off the bench. Utilize him later in the game. What I would like to see, because Bamford won't be back. There's a Bamford note, and I do want to talk about that. I would like to see Sam Greenwood get a go. Why not? If Joe Gelhart's fit, play Joe Gelhart, of course. But if he's not there yet, why not give Sam Greenwood a go? Or maybe are we looking for Sam Greenwood to do another cameo off the bench again? It's going to be interesting, but I would just like to see a more natural striker up there because the Dan James thing for me just doesn't work. And I think about Dan James going up against Gahey and Anderson. I don't like that math. I don't like that math. I'll get Scott Steiner to do the math for me, and even he wouldn't be able to do it. So I would prefer a striker to go up there, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Johnny, be good. Back to the Future. I love that. 2-1, one way or the other. I see that, man. Just hedge your bets. Just both sides, yeah. Darren, hey, hello, KG. What a treat to have a preview. Yeah, I thought I'd give you something just for over the weekend, and then we'll come back on Monday with the match reaction. Vic Vinegar saying Melier, Ayling, Cock, Cooper, Dallas, Phillips, Click, Rafinha, Harrison, Rodrigo, Greenwood. Yep, with what we've got, I can't really argue against that, Vic. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. James saying, I don't like Harrison going up against him either. Come on, listen, we've got to give Jack his props, man. When he's doing the thing, we've got to give him his props, man. And he's got 3 goals in 3 consecutive games. He's looking more aggressive too, which is something that we needed to see from him. Because he had that he's got confidence issues. His head would go up in the sky every time he lost the ball, but he's looking more aggressive now, which Jesse Marsh wanted from him. Bowie Doctor, I think our only real option as Bamford replacement up top is Dean. Max Dean. Is that who you're talking about, Bowie? And Snoop Huggy saying we all know Dan James will start up top. But yeah, listen, I mean, on the striker thing, Bamford, I mean, it's noted now that he could be back for the last 2 games of the season. Now, see, he's doing work now, and he could be back on the grass next week. But listen, the mentality thing has been spoke about before. Jesse Marsh and everything else. He's spoken about the team not being very arrogant or confident or what have you. But for me, the last 2 games are Brighton and Brentford. Why is it those 2 games that he can come back for, but not the ones like Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea? I know there's recovery times and everything else like that, but for me, it would just be too convenient that he comes back for the 2 games versus Brighton and Brentford and missed the 3 big hitters. I don't know. There's just something in that for me, which is, but I'm glad anyway that these things are being addressed in terms of Jesse Marsh asking for two strikers in the summer. And seeing as we're there, I just wanted to make that note about Bamford because it's just odd for me that you can come back for the last two. Why if the last two were against Man City and Chelsea and not Brighton and Brentford? I don't know. I don't know. John Knox, I like Bamford, but we really need a player who isn't injured all the time. Absolutely, John. Like I say to you all the time on here, people, availability is one key attribute that I love, and he's not available. So what can we do with that? Enough of the nice guy stuff. He's a nice guy and everything. We need to move on. I think Jesse's already looking to that already by scouting two strikers. Now the man in the picture, and I've put this on, and I wouldn't have put it on for any other reason, people. Yeah, I wouldn't have put it on for any other reason, but I got messages after the Arsenal Chelsea game and during as well, and I ignored all of them, because Chelsea, and I'm not going to take anything away because he was in the right place at the right time. Eddie Nketiah was in the right place at the right time for both of his goals. He scores two goals, and all of a sudden, we should get Nketiah. We should get Nketiah back. Bring him back to Leeds. Oh, I'd love to get Nketiah back. He'd be a good option on a free. Oh, yeah. And people saying, I thought you said, and a couple of DMs said, I thought you said Nketiah wasn't good. People, calma. Hey, Nketiah scored two goals against a Chelsea team that was awful. I mean, that's no excuse. He still had to score them, but they were terrible that game. Christensen just passed in the ball and said, "Go through and score." His second goal looked like a goal that we conceded earlier this season. It was calamity defending. It was absolutely abysmal defending. The ball cannoned off two Chelsea players before Eddie just toe poked it in. And I know, it's you got to be in the right place at the right time. But please, you know me, I'm not a stat man, people. I don't like to bring up stats too much, because I like to watch the game with my eye, but my eyes have also told me that Eddie isn't the answer in the Prem. But let me give you his stats over the last couple of years, yeah. Premier League. Let's just do the last 3 years. 1920, 13 matches, 2 goals. 2021, 17 matches, 2 goals. 21-22, this current season, 2 goals. And they came against Chelsea just this week. People, when I say that we need to get better at this club, it means much better than that. Eddie Nketiah is holding out for a new contract, by the way, because he wants to guarantee more playing time. My question is to everyone that is pining for him: would you be comfortable with the amount of football that he's going to be asking for? That he's one of your two main strikers for the season, going in next season. Would you be comfortable with that? In the chat, let me know. Let me know, please. And I'll give me your thoughts on Eddie Nketiah. Please give me your thoughts here. I want to see what my community has got to say about that one. Let's be honest, Chelsea Labour on a plate. They've given him the knife and fork and everything. Bowie Doctor, he's a natural goal scorer. Oh, I think he's on about Max Dean. Right, got you. Darren Wong, for goodness sake, Eddie is good for us if we're still in the championship. Yeah. Vic Vinegar, he's an old-fashioned poacher, not enough to his game to be effective at this level. Exactly. Like, he could have got away with that back, I would say maybe even 15 years ago. The game's moved on a bit since then. So he'd be one of those where if he isn't getting those kind of mistakes that he got presented to him, you wouldn't see him for all the game. And then what are people going to say? Oh, Eddie, you don't do anything. Well, what's he doing? He doesn't even run around. Come on, people. You gotta have some. Again, I know he was here for a moment in our, under Marcelo, but sentimentality, you got to take that out of it. There are much better options. It's kind of hard to find good striking options. I will admit the goal scoring thing is, they're not out there, but there's much better than Eddie Nketiah. He's doing what he needs to do in terms of his contract, but I would say that he's going to not have a stipulation, but he was going to want some kind of guarantees that he's going to start most of the games. And for me, I don't feel comfortable with that in the Prem. I hope he proves me wrong. I hope I do. but I just don't see it. Let's have a look. Let me just get some more. Ref saying we've had players and let them go for a reason. Much better quality needed going forward if we are to make progress. Yeah, I mean that's going to be a whole. That's going to be a whole other video, and I can't wait to do that one. But yeah, James, don't want him. We have Greenwood and Gelhardt, who are both better and cheaper. And this is it for me. Yes, those two players, Greenwood and Gelhardt, do drop out of the box more than Eddie does. That's understandable. But they can still get in there. And I think that their finishing is no worse than Eddie Nketiah's. And they've got a couple of years on him. And Nketiah's 22 now. I'm sure he's 22. But yeah, if we're talking about bringing in Nketiah just to cheapen Greenwood and Gerhardt's minutes, not for me. I don't want him. I'm just going to say it outright. Not for me. Eddie Nketiah back at Leeds. No chance. Not for me. Eddie and Marty Adams. Allison, sorry, Allison and Marty Adams. Eddie, not for me. Better options out there. Absolutely. Robbie, I've just deleted the message I was going to send after I heard those stats. Yeah, this is it. And once again, and it's not to be cruel, but again, he scored against us in the cup this season, didn't he? And I think that gets people thinking, oh, he must be able to do well at Leeds United just because he scored against us. But in that case, then we should be picking up Almiron because he scored against us last season. I don't want it. I don't want it, and I don't want Almiron either. Trust me. Um, Max H, I honestly don't know what Eddie's next move is. It's a big moment for him in his career. It is because he could easily. I mean, I've seen Arsenal fans trying to get Nketiah to sign a contract. People live in the moment way too much. They don't have the bigger picture. They don't want to look at the bigger picture. You know that I've literally just told you those are his only two goals for the season, but yet Arsenal fans are asking him to sign a new deal. Maybe he will stay there after all because they're going to be out of him and Lacazette. But nah, not for me. Not for me. Eagle Eye Football saying don't want Nketiah at Palace. Yeah, he's been linked with Palace too, hasn't he? I think Vieira wanted him in the summer, if I'm correct there. But I can understand you've already got two players there that just ain't it in IU and Mateta's decent, but you guys need a killer up front too. Tom Gatlin, would you chuck in a cheeky man? Come on, Tom. 25 to 30 million bid for Ivan Toney. Oh man, damn. Yeah, I like Ivan Toney, but I don't know, man. I gotta say I don't know. I don't know. But if you give me the choice between Tony and Nketiah, take Tony every day because he's got way more to his game than Nketiah. Um, Blinky Fish is saying Jesse likes Greenwood, so I'd expect him to get more minutes next season. Yeah, yeah, I think so. I thought Greenwood would be one to go out on loan. I did, but I think he might stay around next year because I think there's going to be sales, Tyler Roberts, and that will make room in the squad. Why not still Pookie for free? Listen, you know what? Pookie's better than Nketiah. And this is what I was thinking the other day when I was watching Pookie. I swear to God, I was thinking when people were piping up about Nketiah, and this was before he scored his two goals, by the way. I was thinking, look, if we're being real about it, Timu Puki's probably more threatening than Eddie Nketiah is. That's not even being like dramatic. That's just stating facts. Look at Pookie's goal involvements this year. Hey, but nah. But no, listen, yeah, I mean, listen, people in the chat have let me know. If you're watching the replay, please let me know your thoughts on Eddie and Nketiah in the comments. I'm very interested to hear where people are with this. So, yeah, yeah. And just a quick random note, just a thought of mine. We talk about Burnley, but Sean Dyche, it isn't going well for West Brom right now under Steve Bruce. I can see Sean Dyche going to West Brom in the summer. That's a prediction. It may be wrong, but I can see West Brom getting rid of Steve Bruce in the summer and Sean Dyche going there. Because unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get another Premier League job. Just like that, I think he's going to have to work his way back up. And I think WBA will be the spot he lands. Vic Vinegar saying, give Pookie a chance. If he scores, he's free. I'd have him as backup. Man like Joe Pookie, innit? Timu Wayman. But now I hear you though. If he was free, and he's a backup. Why not? Why not? But because it's about getting the bench stronger. Because if you got your main striker coming off, whoever that may be in the summer, and you see Pookie come on, you're like, oh, that's not bad. Right now, we don't really have that. So yeah, John Knox, Jonathan David from Lille looks interesting. I think Canada might cause upset and surprise at the World Cup. I like Jonathan David, and we were linked with him before he went to Lille. So I think we kind of missed out on that because I think there's a lot more eyes on him now, John. So I don't think we're gonna. But let's see. Hey, we don't know. Let's see how ambitious our board is in the summer. Again, that's another video for the future. Tommy saying Mitrovic over Eddie again. Mitrovic is no one I want to see. We've seen this movie before, and shout out to him. He got like 40 goals in the champ. He's not a Premier League striker, and he's gonna show us all again next season. Clip me up. I don't mind because the proof's in the pudding. He's not just going to turn into a 20-goal scorer in the Prem next season out of nowhere. He hasn't done it, and he's had many opportunities. So for me, Mitrovic is a fine Championship striker, and I would take him there, but nah, not in the Prem. Dan saying, what about Che Adams from Southampton? I do like Che Adams, but that's what I'm talking about. The striking, the striking options around are just so they're poor. They're so poor, man. But Shay Adams, I mean, Jesus, I don't know. I gotta have a think about this. I gotta have a think about this. And even, I mean, see, even Dan Savage here, Danny Ings, no, I don't want, just on the pure fact of his injury history, I don't want that. So, and what is he now? Is he coming up to 29? No, I think we need to go into more prime ages for that, like 23, something like that, or a hot youngster if they're really good. But for me, nah, not Danny Ings. Um, Tommy saying it was said Bamford wasn't ready for the Prem, and look, yeah, I mean he had one season. Michael Bridges had one season too. You know it. Hey, listen, we should know more than anyone as well, Tommy. Remember Michael Ricketts when we got him? Remember him? Yeah, England international. Yeah, but we listen. You never know until they sign for you, right? You just never know. You just never know. But we'll see. We'll see. Uh, Nephews is saying Mbappe swap deal with Furpo. Why not? I mean, who says no? Who says no? Eh? CJ, KJ, my main man, you sir are the judge, jury, execution of the deadwood within our squad. I hope we survive and make big changes come the summer instead of the last two disappointing windows. I'm with you there completely, 100% CJ. Completely there. Yeah, give you guys some bad flashbacks now it with Michael Ricketts. Yeah, you remember that. But listen, there is a Eagle Eye Forwards made the point here. The striker role is dying. Better getting killer wing forwards. Yeah, and somebody else put that. So many teams don't play with number 9 these days, which is why the options aren't there. Players need other strings to their bows to get anywhere near the top level, and that's it as well. If we had, if we had two wings that were goal scoring wingers, let's not go Mane and Salah because those are extreme examples. But you know what I mean, wingers that could really chip in and give you decent goal returns over a nice period of time, not just in bunches. I would say get a hold up striker that gets you maybe 8, 10 goals and hope for the best. But for me, we don't have that. So unless you get that, then we need to get a striker that is more of a killer. We just do. James, hey KG, remember I only wants Europe next year according to his 3-year plan. We'll see. Tom Gatlin, bro, you from Chelsea. Yeah, I mean he's kind of fallen off a little bit over the past couple months, but it's his first year of the Premier League. I think he might be good next season. So I would take him especially if it was a loan deal. I mean, who'd say no to that? I would take him as a loan option. But yeah, listen, people, just before we go, and I do have to say this, listen, on this channel, let me just take a drink. Hold on. And please smash a like on the video if you're still here. Smash a like on the video if you're watching the replay, of course. I always say to you, I always try and preach to take the high road. Yeah. I always try and say, listen, When people go low, try and raise your standards. But you know what? Derby went down. Did you hear me? Derby will be playing League One football next season, yeah? Now, the Karma Police, they took their time. They took their time. It's been a couple of years in waiting. They've had a lot of delays, but Derby are gone. And that's why I'm saying you put out in the world what you get back. And they should have gone down last season. But no, they got a savior. They got their points deducted. What is it? Postponed until this season. Yeah. They sold their ground to themselves for like 500 million. Cook them books like Gordon Ramsay. Yeah. You will get no sympathy at all from me. None. Listen, I don't have a lot of hate. I don't have a lot of hatred for a lot of teams. I really don't. But you know what? They irked me that year. They irked me. First of all, the whole Spygate thing was a whole bunch of nonsense. Yeah, that was all a whole bunch of nonsense. And then, of course, you got the playoff semi-final. Didn't like that. Didn't make me feel very good for a couple weeks. Yeah, didn't make me feel good at all. And then you've got them bragging about having the whole league on strings and everything else like that, buying inexpensive players. And it's like, well, how are you getting this money? Wayne Rooney coming in, 32 red, footing half of the bill. Amazing. Amazing. I mean, it's beautiful if you can do it and get to the Prem, but they didn't get there. And they were doing all this. Well, at least you got that to keep you warm, Derby County. You have that playoff semi-final second leg to keep you warm. And I hope it does as you're traveling to MK Dons and all them other places. You deserve it. What is it that thing they do in wrestling now, people? I think you deserve it. You deserve it. Yeah. Nothing but joy. Because you know what? We've been in that position. This is why I can laugh as well, people. I mean, I'd laugh anyway. But we've been in that position where we were on our knees. 15 points deducted in League One. And there was no sympathy for Leeds United. Do not think that there was no sympathy. No one cared. They didn't want us to get out of the mud. But we got out. Now it's your turn to try and get out. Yeah. I just wanted to end on a nice, happy note. Yeah. I just wanted to end on a nice, beautiful note. Oh, man. Imagine if Everton go down to with Lampard as their manager. Listen, I tell Karma Police comes around, man. Eagle Eye Football saying you taken Luke. Have you actually signed him for real? He's a decent prospect, man. If that's true, well, kudos to you. James, I can't find them in the championship. Where are they? James, you're gonna have to use them binoculars, boy. You're gonna have to use them. Maybe Keogh's probably got a set. You know, I mean, look at that as well. I mean, just look at that. I mean, look at that whole fiasco with the whole drink driving thing. The two guys that were drinking got to stay on, but Keogh, who was in the back, got sacked. The club has been run amok for the last few years. For the last few years, and you get what you deserve. I'm telling you, people. But from after this, we'll take the high road everywhere else. Yes, we'll be nice. We'll be nice. We do research too. Yes, Mr. Lampard, you do. Dan Savage, have you seen all the tributes on social for Rooney to try and overshadow how they tried to cheat the league and the League One? I've seen it all, and that's why I'm saying it here, because I'm sick of seeing all this. Oh, they did so well to try and overcome the points deduction. Oh, they did so well. What a great job. Oh, shut up. Get out of here, man. Enjoy those trips. You better get down there. Oh, 1 million. That's not bad, man. That's a good deal. That's kind of like when Wigan went down and we took advantage of got Gelhardt too. So that's what you got to do, I'm afraid. That's what you got to do. The game is the game, as they say. So yeah, I just thought I'd just throw that in, and anyone that wants to leave the comments, any tributes to Derby, feel free. Just gonna read the last two super chats and then head off. Ray LUFC, good luck. I have to get back to work. Oh, thank you for the donation, no man. Always a big supporter of the channel. Always appreciated you. Russ as well, big supporter of the channel. It's in our own hands. Keep the faith. Win the second ball. Hit the back of the net. It's simple. Happy days. Football's a simple game, isn't it? But we'll see on Monday. We'll see on Monday. And yeah, and James just saying here, remember they were only in the championship because of Sheffield Wednesday's point deductions. They got so many lifelines, people. So many more than what we got, man. So like I say, you get what you deserve in the end. But yeah, listen, people, I'm gonna be back after the Palace Leeds game for a match reaction. So if you're around, please join me here then. And I'll see you then. Peace out, people. Have a good weekend, everyone.